Hi there! Welcome back to our channel. Today we are talking about the new project with Millie Bobbi Brown, the action-packed movie Damsel. Number 1. Damsel in Distress.
There are many stories of chivalry, where the heroic knight saves the damsel in distress. This is not one of them.
Damsel in distress is a person, usually a young woman, who needs to be rescued from danger or trouble of some kind. It's like a princess stuck in a tower waiting for a hero to save her. So we think of a damsel in distress as someone weak and helpless. At the very beginning of the movie, the narrator says that this is not your typical damsel in distress story, so we shouldn't expect a story where a weak young lady will need someone to save her. In many fairy tales, the protagonist encounters a damsel in distress, usually a beautiful maiden in need of saving. The video game followed the traditional narrative of a damsel in distress, with the player's mission being to navigate obstacles and defeat enemies to save the captured princess. Despite her initial appearance as a damsel in distress, the character surprised everyone by turning the tables on her captors and orchestrating her own escape. Distress, distress, damsel, damsel, damsel in distress, damsel in distress. Now pause the video and practice saying the phrase. Number 2. To mean well.
I keep thinking if only Mother were alive, I could just talk to her about all of this.
Perhaps you could talk to stepmother. She means well, even if she is a bit
Exhausting.
To mean well means to have good intentions or a positive motive behind one's actions, even if the outcome may not be very favorable or the action itself is misunderstood. Imagine that you give someone a bouquet of flowers. However, unfortunately, the recipient is allergic, but you didn't know. Although the outcome is not great, your intentions were to make another person happy. In this scene, Elodie is talking to her sister Floria about their stepmother. Floria says that she means well, even if she can be exhausting. So, the stepmother can be a bit exhausting, but she has good intentions and wants good things for the daughters. In this phrase, the verb is mean, and you can change it according to the tense or the form that you need, and well is the adverb. Sarah's criticism may come off as harsh, but she means well and wants you to improve. She may have made some mistakes, but she always meant well and supported those around her. Sometimes his efforts to fix things only make them worse, but everybody knows he means well and appreciates his intentions. Means, means. She means well. She means well. Now pause the video and practice saying the phrase. Number 3. To make peace with something.
The land where I come from is exactly how your mother explained. Harsh and barren. This union will save us. I've made my peace with it. My happiness is a small price to pay for the future of my people.
To make peace with something refers to accepting or coming to terms with a difficult or unpleasant situation, person, or past event, usually after a period of inner conflict or struggle. In this scene, Elodie says that she made peace with the fact that the marriage with the prince will help her people. Maybe at first she had an inner conflict, so she wasn't really sure about the decision, but now she accepts it, so she understands that she needs to do it in order to help her people. This phrase is usually followed by a noun or a noun phrase. After years of resentment, Jane finally made peace with her estranged father and reached out to him. It took me a while, but I've made peace with the fact that I didn't get the job I wanted. Despite the tragedy, the community came together to make peace with the loss and support each other through the grieving process. Peace. Peace. I've made my peace. I've made my peace. I've made my peace with it. I've made my peace with it. Now pause the video and practice saying the phrase. Number 4. To have something in store.
With savage bloodlust, the beast left its lair and set upon the village. So the king gathered his soldiers to avenge his people. But their steel was no match for the monster, and each man met his end. Each save one. For the king, the beast had a far worse fate in store.
To have something in store refers to having something prepared, planned, or available for the future, usually implying that it is something good or exciting, but not always. It could just mean something unusual or extreme. Here, the queen explains the legend of the monster. Every man who tried to fight it died except for one. And for the king, the monster had a far worse fate in store, meaning that the monster had planned a much worse punishment or outcome of life for the king. Little did she know, her parents had a surprise trip to Paris in store for her birthday. The company has some exciting announcements in store for the upcoming conference. Despite the challenges, she believes that the future has great opportunities in store for her. In store. In store. To have something. To have something. To have something in store. To have something in store. Now pause the video and practice saying the phrase. Okay, and now it is time for you to do some exercises and check how well you understood the material. And remember, if you need extra time, you can always pause the video. Exercise number 1. Complete the dialogues with the correct phrases. Exercise number 2. Correct the mistakes in these sentences. Alright, that's all for today's lesson. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel because we have more useful videos in store.